Hello everyone, this is Asra Sultana, Assistant Professor in Triply Department, working in ISL Engineering College. So in the previous classes, we have started the converter and HVDC system control. There we have seen about the principles of DC link control and converter control characteristics we have seen. So modification of control characteristics also we have seen. Under that, mode stabilization and voltage dependent current limit. Then few numericals. Then we have seen the control system hierarchy. Then firing angle control, individual phase control, constant alpha control, inverse cosine control, and equidistance pulse control EPC. Under EPC, we are having three schemes, that is pulse frequency control, pulse period control, and pulse phase control. So one of the major advantage of a HVDC link is the rapid controllability of transmitted power through the control of firing angles of the converters. Modern converter controls are not only fast but they are also reliable and they are used for the protection against line and converter faults. System control in a HVDC link tends to be quite complex with a hierarchy of controllers. High-speed microprocessors are being used for many of the control functions, including monitoring and supervisory control. Let us do a quick revision of what we have seen in the last class. Last class we have seen about the system control hierarchy. Control functions required for the HVDC link will be performed using hierarchical control structure as shown in the figure. Master controller for bipole is located at one of the terminals and it is provided with the power order from the system controller. It also has other information such as AC voltage at the converter bus, DC voltage, etc. Master controller will transmit current order to the pole units, which in turn will provide a firing angle order to the individual valve groups. The valve group or converter control also oversees valve monitoring and firing logic through the optical interface. It will include bypass, pair selection logic, computation failure protection, tap changer control, converter starter stop consequences, margin switching and valve protection circuits. So pole control will incorporate pole protection, DC line protection and optional converter paralleling and deparalleling sequences. Master controller, which oversees the complete bipole, includes functions of frequency control, power modulation, AC voltage and reactive power control. It will also oversee pole paralleling sequences, transient pole current increases for outage of a pole, balancing of pole currents and commutation of the power or current order to the remote terminal. So this is a block diagram of pole and the converter controllers. So this shows the basic control functions. Current or excitation angle controller will generate control signal Vc, which is related to the firing angle required. Firing angle controller will generate gate pulses in response to the control signal Vc. Selector picks the smaller of the alpha determined by the current and CEA controllers. In digitally based firing pulse controller, output of the primary regulator can be firing angle reference, which is used as input to the continuously acting synchronization control with feedback from the measurement of the firing angle at the system frequency. So when we see the firing angle control, operation of CC and CA controllers is closely linked with the method of generation of gate pulses for the valves in a converter. So there are two basic requirements for the firing pulse generation of HVDC valves. First one is firing instant for all the valves are determined at ground potential and the firing signals sent to individual thyristors by light signals through fiber optic cables. Second one is while a single pulse is adequate to turn on a thyristor, gate pulse generated must send a pulse whenever required if the particular valve is to be kept in a conducting state. So this is of importance when operating at low DC currents and a transient might reduce the current below the holding current. There are two basic firing schemes, namely individual phase control and equidistance pulse control, IPC and EPC. See students, this is very important for internal as well as external exams. Okay, important concept, that is individual phase control IPC and equidistance pulse control. Firing angle control are of two schemes. So IPC was used in the past and now has been replaced by EPC for reasons that we will see. Okay. So let us see first individual phase control. This was used in early HVDC projects. Main feature of this scheme is that uh, firing pulse generation for each phase is independent of each other and the firing pulses are rapidly synchronized with the commutation voltages. There are two ways in which this can be achieved: constant alpha control and inverse cosine control. So there are two methods in IPC, that is constant alpha control and inverse cosine control. Let us first see constant alpha control. In this scheme, 6 timing commutation voltages are derived from the converter AC bus via voltage transformers and the 6 gate pulses are generated at nominally identical delay times subsequent to the respective voltage zero crossings. Instead of zero crossing of a particular commutation voltage corresponds to alpha equal to 0 for that valve. Delays will be produced by independent delay circuits and controlled by a common control voltage VC, which is derived from the current or extinction angle controllers. This was the constant alpha control. So there we are having a zero crossing detector, variable delay, VC will be there, okay, and sinusoidal pulse will be given. Then it will be converted into a square wave. Then we are going to get a gate pulse out of it, okay. Next is inverse cosine control. There are several variations of this, but in common, one common arrangement is made for inverse cosine control method. That is 6 timing voltages combined as in constant alpha control or 6 timing voltages are each phase shifted by 90 degrees and they are added separately to a common control voltage VC. Zero crossing of the sum of the two voltages initiates the firing pulse for the particular valve considered. Delay angle alpha is nominally proportional to the inverse cosine of the control voltage. It also depends on the AC system voltage, amplitude and shape. Main advantage of this control scheme is that the average DC voltage across the bridge varies linearly with the control voltage VC. So in this scheme, maintaining of the phase shift is necessary, that is 90 degrees for variations in the supply frequency. This is the inverse cosine control circuit diagram and the output shown here. So main advantage of this scheme is that average DC voltage across the bridge varies linearly with control voltage VC. And we have to maintain that 90 degrees phase shift is there for variations in the supply frequency. Now let us see the drawbacks of IPC scheme, because we are not using this nowadays. Only in earlier days this was used. Nowadays we are using EPC, that is equidistance pulse control. So what are the drawbacks of IPC scheme? The major drawback of IPC scheme is the aggravation of the harmonic instability problem that was encountered particularly in systems with low short circuit ratios, that is less than 4. Harmonic instability, unlike instability in control systems, is a problem that is characterized by magnification of non-characteristic harmonics in steady state. This is mainly due to the fact that any distortion in the system voltage leads to perturbations in the zero crossing which affect the instance of firing pulses in IPC scheme. This implies that even when the fundamental frequency voltage components are balanced, firing pulses are not equidistant in steady state. So this in turn will lead to the generation of non-characteristic harmonics. That is, the harmonics can be order of H not equal to NP plus or minus 1 in the AC current, which can amplify the harmonic content of the AC voltage at the converter bus. So the problem will be aggravated at the frequencies for which the filter impedance and the system impedance are in parallel resonance. The problem of harmonic instability can be overcome by the following measures. First one is influencing the harmonic behavior of AC network impedance seen by the converter through the provision of synchronous condensers or additional filters for filtering out non-characteristics harmonic. Second is use of filters in control circuit to filter out non-characteristics harmonics in the commutation voltages. Third is the use of firing angle control independent of the zero crossings of the AC voltages. This is the most attractive solution and leads to the equidistance pulse firing scheme Now let us see the equidistance pulse control EPC method. So IPC is having drawbacks. So we are not using IPC nowadays. We are using only equidistance pulse control. So in this scheme, firing pulses are generated in steady state at equal intervals of 1 by PF through a ring counter. This control scheme was first suggested by Ainsworth using a phase-locked oscillator to generate the firing pulses. There are three variations of the EPC scheme. First one is pulse frequency control PFC, second is pulse period control, third is pulse phase control PPC. PPC we are using for the third one only, pulse phase control. For pulse period control we are not giving any short form. Okay. Let us see first pulse frequency control first scheme. So in this scheme, voltage control oscillator VCO is used, frequency of which is determined by the control voltage VC, which is related to the error in the quantity, which can be current, extinction angle or DC voltage being regulated. And the frequency in steady state operation is equal to PF0, where F0 is the nominal frequency of the AC system. PFC system has an integral characteristic and has to be used along with a feedback control system for stabilization. This diagram showing the block diagram of a PFC system. It is showing a simplified block diagram of PFC system. Voltage control oscillator VCO consists of an integrator, comparator and a pulse generator. Output pulses of the generator will drive the ring counter and also reset the integrator. The instant Tn of the firing pulse will be determined from these following equations. Integral Tn minus 1 to Tn K1 Vc plus V1 dt is equal to V3, where V1 is a bias voltage and V3 is proportional to the system period. In steady state, Vc is equal to 0 and from above equation we can write K1 V1 into Tn minus 1 is equal to V3, where this Tn minus Tn minus 1 is 1 by Pf0. In steady state, gain K1 of the integrator is chosen as Pf0 V3 by V1. So circuit does not incorporate frequency correction. Frequency correction is obtained by deriving V3 as V3 is equal to V2 by 1 plus ST1 and V2 is equal to K1 V1 Tn minus 1 minus Ntn minus 2. So this is the frequency correction for pulse frequency control scheme, where you can see in this block from pulse generator we are getting the pulses and from added up with V1 and we'll get that will be equal to K1 integral Tn minus 1 to Tn minus 1. Then it will be sampled and sample and hold circuit will do the sampling and holding of the value. Then V2 will be added to that and into 1 by ST1. Then that will be equal to V3. Okay, whatever equations we are writing, same thing we are writing, drawing in the form of block diagram. Next is pulse period control. This is similar of PFC except for the way in which the control voltage VC is handled. Structure of the controller is the same as that in the block diagram of PFC system. However, VC is now summed with V3 instead of V1. So constant Tn, so instant Tn of the pulse generation is given as integral Tn minus 1 into Tn till Tn K1 V1 dt is equal to V3 plus Vc. So from this above equation we can write K1 into V1 into Tn minus 1 is equal to V3 plus Vc. With Vc is equal to 0, interval between consecutive pulses in steady state is exactly equal to 1 by Pf0. So this figure is showing how an exponentially decaying Vc which appears at t is equal to T1 shifts the delay angle by decreasing the pulse frequency between T1 and T2. Frequency correction in this scheme is obtained by either updating V1 in response to the system frequency variation or including another integrator in the CC or CEA controller. So it can be seen that conceptually the pulse period control is similar to PFC and both have integral characteristics. Next is pulse phase control PPC. This has been suggested by Rumpf and Renard, Reeve and Sivenko. So an analog circuit is configured to generate firing pulses according to the following equation, that is integral Tn minus 1 to Tn K1 V1 dt is equal to Vcn minus Vcn minus 1 plus V3, where Vcn and Vcn minus 1 are the control voltages at the instants Tn and Tn minus 1 respectively. For proportional current control, steady state can be reached when the error or Vc is constant. To reduce the error to 0, authors recommend a slow alpha control with feedback signal taken from the measured delay angle. This signal, in addition to a signal derived from the frequency error, is used to control the voltage V1. So the major advantages claimed for PPC over PFC are easy inclusion of alpha limits by limiting VC as in IPC, and second one is linearization of control characteristic by including an inverse cosine function block after the current controller. Actually, limits can also be incorporated into PFC or pulse period control system. In any case, the constraints of limits will give rise to generation of non-equidistant pulses unless special symmetrizing controls are included. This basically involves firing the subsequent P1s and valves at equal intervals. Once a valve is fired at say minimum limit, unless an increase in the firing angle is called for. Let's see now the drawbacks of EPC scheme. EPC scheme has replaced IPC scheme in modern HVDC projects. It has certain limitations, which are, first one is, under balanced voltage condition, EPC results in less DC voltage compared to IPC. Unbalance in the voltage will result from single phase to ground fault in the AC system, which may persist for over 10 cycles due to struck breakers. Under such conditions, it is desirable to maximize DC power transfer in the link, which calls for IPC. Second drawback is EPC scheme also results in a higher negative damping contribution to torsional oscillations when HVDC is the major transmission link from a thermal station. Let us start our today's topic, that is current and extinction angle control. Current controller is invariably of feedback type, which is of PI type. Okay, a typical block diagram of the controller which is of PI type is shown in the figure. So this is the block diagram of a current controller. Extinction angle controller can be of predictive type or feedback type with EPC control. Predictive controller will be considered to be less prone to commutation failure and was invariably used in the early schemes. The feedback control with PFC type of equidistance pulse control overcomes the problems associated with IPC. Extinction angle as opposed to current is a discrete variable, so and it is felt that feedback control of gamma is lower than the predictive type. In one of the predictive schemes proposed by Ingorani, the firing pulse generation is based on the following equation. 0 is equal to integral minus pi plus delta n minus 1 to omega tn ECJ d of omega t plus 2 XCID, where ECJ is the commutation voltage across valve J and Tn is the instant of its firing. In general, prediction of firing angle is based on the equation Bj is equal to gamma reference plus Uj or mu j. U or mu, anything is same. Okay. So where mu j is the overlap angle of valve J, which is to be predicted based on the current knowledge of the commutation voltage and DC current. In feedback control of extinction angle, the measured value of gamma will pass through a non-linear block. The control is made faster whenever gamma is less than gamma 1 and it will be slow whenever gamma is greater than gamma 2. So in the former case, fast control reduces the incidence of commutation failure, while in the latter case, instability due to the negative resistance characteristic of fast gamma control is avoided. So in this feedback control of extinction angle control, as we have seen in this diagram, So in feedback control of extinction angle control, as seen in this diagram, measured value of gamma will pass through a non-linear block. Control will be made faster when a gamma is less than gamma 1, and it will be slow whenever gamma is greater than gamma 2. So in the former case, fast control will reduce the incidence of commutation failure, while in the latter case, instability due to the negative resistance characteristic of fast gamma control will be avoided. Under large disturbances such as sudden dip in the AC voltage, signals derived from the derivative of voltage or DC current will aid the advancing of delay angle for fast recovery from commutation failures. Okay, students. Then after this current and extinction angle control, then you are having two more topics to complete in the third unit, that is starting and stopping of DC link. So under that we are going to see the energization and deionization of a bridge, startup of DC link, startup with long pulse firing and startup with short pulse firing. Okay, what are the various uh, points in startup of DC link, we are going to see it. Then we are going to see the power control, power and auxiliary controller, uh, and we are going to see the generic model of VDCOL. Then there are some higher level controllers like frequency and power frequency control, stabilization of AC ties, emergency control, reactive power control, subsynchronous damping control, and control of voltage source converter. We are going to see about the block diagram of voltage source controller, decoupled current controllers, control hierarchy and system control. So there will be three levels of control in VSC based HVDC. That is system control, converter control and PWM control. PWM is nothing but here pulse width modulation. So three levels of control will be studied in VSC based HVDC scheme. Okay. Then we are going to see the control characteristics for a terminal and voltage control at rectifier and voltage control at inverter. So all these things we are going to see it in the next class. Okay, I hope this is clear to everyone. So whatever we have seen in today's class is clear. Okay. We have seen about the system control hierarchy. We have seen the block diagram of this hierarchy. Hierarchical control structure for a DC link we have seen. So control functions required for HVDC link are performed using hierarchical control structure as shown in the figure. Master controller for bipole will be located at one of the terminals and it will be provided with power order from the system controller, that is P reference. And it also has other information such as AC voltage at the converter bus, DC voltage, etc. Master controller will transmit the current order I reference to the pole units, which in turn will provide a firing angle order to the individual valve groups. Valve group or the converter control will oversee valve monitoring and firing logic through the optical interface. It will include bypass phase selection logic, commutation failure protection, tap changer control, converters, start and stop sequences, margin switching and valve protection circuits. So pole control also will incorporate pole protection, DC line protection and optional converter paralleling and deparalleling sequences. Master controller will oversee the complete bipole, includes the functions of frequency control, power modulation, AC voltage and reactive power control, and torsional frequency damping control. It will also oversee the pole paralleling sequences, transient pole current increases for outage of a pole, balancing of pole currents and commutation of the power or current order to the remote terminal. So block diagram of pole and converter control is shown in this figure. This shows the basic control functions. The current or extinction angle controller will generate a control signal Vc which is related to the firing angle required. Firing angle controller will generate gate pulses in response to the control signal VC. Selector will pick the smaller of the alpha determined by the current and CA controllers. In digitally based firing pulse controller, output of the primary regulator can be firing angle reference, which is used as input to continuously acting synchronization control with feedback from the measurement of the firing angle and the system frequency. Then we have seen about the firing angle control. Firing and operation of CC and CEA controllers is closely linked with the method of generation of gate pulses for the valves in a converter. So, two basic requirements for firing pulse generation of HVDC valves are: firing instant for all the valves are determined at ground potential, and the firing signals sent to individual thyristors by light signals through fiber optic cables. Required gate power will be made available at the potential of individual thyristors. Second one is, while a single pulse is adequate to turn on a thyristor, gate pulse generated must send a pulse whenever required if the particular valve is to be kept in a conducting state. So there are two basic firing schemes, namely individual phase control IPC and equidistance pulse control EPC. IPC was used in the past and now has been replaced by EPC for reasons which we have already seen. Okay, individual phase control in this method. Uh, this was used in early HVDC projects. The main feature of this scheme is that the firing pulse generation for each phase is independent of each other, and the firing pulses are rigidly synchronized with commutation voltages. There are two ways in which this can be achieved. That is, first one is constant alpha control, inverse cosine control. So here, constant alpha control, we have seen 6 timing voltages are derived from the converter AC bus via voltage transformers, and 6 gate pulses are generated at nominally identical delay times. An instant of zero crossing of particular commutation voltage will correspond to alpha equal to 0 for that valve. Delays will be produced by independent delay circuits and controlled by a common control voltage VC. Then we have seen inverse cosine control. There are several variations of this, but one common arrangement we have seen in which 6 timing voltages are each phase shifted by 90 degrees and added separately to a common control voltage VC. Zero crossing of the sum of the two voltages initiates the firing pulse for the particular valve considered. Delay angle alpha is nominally proportional to the inverse cosine of the control voltage. It will depend on the AC system voltage, amplitude and shape. Main advantage of this scheme is that average DC voltage across the bridge varies linearly with the control voltage VC. But here one thing is necessary, that maintaining the phase shift of 90 degrees for variations in the supply frequency. Then we have seen what are the various drawbacks. So major drawback of IPC scheme is the aggravation of the harmonic instability problem that was encountered particularly in systems with low short circuit ratios. Harmonic instability, unlike instability in control system, is a problem that is characterized by magnification of non-characteristic harmonics in steady state. Then we have seen equidistance pulse control EPC method. So in this method, firing pulses are generated in steady state at equal intervals through a ring counter. There are three variations in EPC scheme: pulse frequency control, pulse period control, and pulse phase control. Okay, students. So we have seen the various equations, block diagram for these methods. All these three, equidistance pulse control uh, and individual phase control. These two methods are very important for external point of view. Then we have seen about the drawbacks of EPC scheme. Then we have seen the control and current and extinction angle control. So the current controller is invariably of feedback type. A typical block diagram of controller which is of PI type is shown in the figure. Extinction angle controller can be of predictive type or feedback type with EPC control. Predictive controller will be considered to be less prone to commutation failure and was used in earlier schemes. Feedback control with PFC scheme of equidistance pulse control overcomes the problem associated with IPC. Okay students, next class we will be seeing about the starting and stopping of DC link and in the next class we will finish the third unit will be finished. Okay, thank you everyone for watching the video. All of you should subscribe the channels of the faculty members, those who are teaching to you, so that you will get the notification whenever a new video is made. Thank you students for watching the video.